Krishna comes out of his infinite and causeless mercy. Krishna has no father, he has no mother, but he appears in this world with a father and with a mother in almost every incarnation as a wonderful pastime to exchange love with his devotees and to attract our hearts to him. So Krishna, the original personality of Godhead in the spiritual world, expands himself as Balaram, his first expansion. And Balaram is not different than Krishna himself. There's absolutely no difference. But as Balaram, Krishna assists himself in his loving pastimes. So when we speak of expansion, this is inconceivable to the mind, because in the spiritual world, Balaram is always existing and Krishna is always existing. Neither one exists before the other. They are simultaneously, eternally, past, present, and future, having wonderful pastimes together in the spiritual world. We speak the word expansion just so somehow or other with our material minds we can get some idea of how Krishna and Balaram are the same personality, expanded in two forms eternally for their own enjoyment. But in the same way, every Jivatma is an expansion of Krishna. The difference is Balaram is Krishna in full, expanded, and the Jivatmas are infinitesimal parts and particles, always subordinate to the Lord in every respect. And we are also eternally existing as his parts and parcels, meant for his pleasure. So ultimately, the Supreme Godhead only has one purpose, and that is to enjoy. And we are all eternally manifested from him to be enjoyed by him and to experience the ultimate ecstasy in being enjoyed by him. That is our constitutional nature. And because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we all have that same quality, that we want to enjoy ecstasy. Every living being wants to experience ecstasy. Every living entity, they are looking for pleasure, for enjoyment, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, whose only business is to enjoy. But unfortunately, we do not know the process of real enjoyment, because Krishna's eternal nature is all of his enjoyment is in his loving exchanges with his devotees. And because we are part and parcel with him, the only real enjoyment that we can ever find for all of eternity is in loving exchange with Krishna and his devotees. But we have forgotten that principle. And therefore, we are looking for enjoyment in those places where we will find ultimate misery. And the more we become attached to the enjoyments outside of our loving relationship with Krishna, the more we frustrate ourselves in bondage. And Krishna comes and he tells us this. Here I am, worship me. Man manabhava mad bhakto mad yajim nam namaskuru. Mame vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyoshime. Always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. In this way you will come to me without fail. Brahma bhuta prasana atma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. By rising above this superficial existence of material energy and entering into the stage of self-realization, then we can find real prasanatma, real joyfulness, real bliss. And then our nature will be simply Bhakti, the loving devotional service of the Lord. So Krishna expands himself as Balaram so that he could enjoy with himself. Krishna has expanded himself as all of us, all living entities, simply so that he could enjoy with himself. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. This is the first principle of real transcendental knowledge, that we are not these bodies. We are not meant for exploitation of the resources of material nature. We are meant for Krishna's enjoyment through service, through devotion. It is only through bhakti that we can please Krishna. Therefore, it is only through bhakti that we can find any real happiness in our own lives. Not by jnana alone, not by any karma activities, not even by developing all sorts of mystic siddhis, or even through liberation. Mukti is their real enjoyment to the soul. It's only through bhakti. Why? Because when you water the root of the tree, every part of the tree is satisfied. When we please Krishna, every living being is given the greatest service, and our own heart and soul is thoroughly satisfied. So Krishna and Balarama are eternally existing in the spiritual world as transcendental cowherd boys. Srila Prabhupada explains the only difference between Krishna and Balaram, in all their opulences, in all their powers, in all of their beauties, everything is identical. The only difference is Krishna appears with a complexion which is beautifully dark and bluish, like the monsoon rain cloud. And Balaramji appears with a complexion like a spring cloud, very soft, pure white in complexion. And together they enact wonderful, wonderful, pleasurable lila in that eternal abode beyond material creation called Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost of all of the Vaikuntha or spiritual planets.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.